Good morning and welcome to this weekend's Brunch Club, where we toast to all the amazing, diversely faceted women out there, filling your cup with inspiration and encouragement as our guests share their personal stories, experiences with careers, family, parenting, equality, mentoring, and advice. The Brunch Club is where we raise a glass and champion female talent and leadership everywhere, and where sparkling is always encouraged. Hosted by Rachel Swoboda and brought to you from the beautiful showroom of Bixby&Ball, located in Newport Beach's Lido Marina Village. Now, here is your host, Rachel Swoboda.
Hi, I'm Rachel Swoboda, and welcome to this episode of the Brunch Club. I'm here with my very good friend, Stacey. And Stacey works at Chapman University, and I'm going to let her tell you her title and position.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm Stacey Moynahan. I am the Assistant Dean for Undergraduate Programs and Career Services for the Argyros School of Business and Economics at Chapman University.
Whew, what a mouthful.
Right?
Yes, okay.
I'm still wrapping my head around it too. So.
And I think that it's absolutely fantastic because you have a tendency to, as long as I've known you, say yes to things.
Yes. And
build your career, and your title has gotten longer.
Yes.
every year. So at the beginning here of 2019, it's no surprise that your title has expanded once again. Stacey has been spearheading a lot of the growth that we have all been seeing from Chapman. And if you are a business owner in Orange County and you either accept a lot of applications for interns or entry-level hires, or even if you just get a lot of requests for coffees and informational sessions from students, a lot of them you will probably have noticed have been from Chapman students that are very well educated, which are very well prepared for the business world. And part of that is in thanks to you.
Thank you.
And everything that you and your colleagues are doing at Chapman. So if you could talk to all of us a little bit about what Chapman has been doing that has been so groundbreaking in terms of preparing its students for entering the workforce.
Yeah, thank you for the question. It's really interesting. One of the things I love most about the curriculum at Chapman, just overall, I always joke that we're creating Renaissance students, right? Really, they're very, very well-rounded, and it's not a cliche. Part of their requirement is that at 60 units, they have to declare a double major or a minor or a cluster. So it gives them and affords them the chance to move forward not only in business, if they're in our business school, but maybe they want to do a double major in Italian or dance or philosophy, or maybe they're going to double up on finance and accounting or something along those lines. So it really pushes them beyond what I think some other universities do. It's a unique offering, and again, it's a requirement at the school. So I love that we don't just say we want to create global citizens, we really demand it of them. Most of our students, over 40%, have the opportunity to do some sort of international travel course or semester abroad. So we really seek to, again, create these Renaissance students, if you will, who are not only prepared to go into the workforce, but to engage on a different level across the board.
The word Renaissance, is that a public-facing word that you guys use all the time?
No,
or is that an internal?
That's just me. That's just a reference that I always personally make, because it just makes me think of this the person who can write and play piano and speak to you about, you know, macroeconomic
They're well-rounded
theory. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Absolutely.
Completely.
So I learn from them every day, and it's just a neat place to be a part of.
So what I have found as a business owner, every intern that I have ever interviewed from Chapman has been very well prepared, and they've also been very highly recommended, not just from their resume or their cover letter, but they've been advised.
Right.
And you can tell they've been coached. I get letters and emails from their professors, from their peers, from contacts of mine that are a second-degree connection to them, and it's really impressive the way that they are hunting their jobs.
Absolutely.
It's not a mistake. And I've had the honor of working with Stacey in the last few years with the EMBA students. Yeah. Some of them are doing the 4+1 combination. And both of the mentees that I've had, I actually have had the opportunity to bring them on board and do real work for us.
Yeah.
They have done client-facing amazing work, and we've helped them get hired into their next stage of their careers and advancement. So talk to me about, I mean, that's no accident.
Absolutely, it's 100% by design. That's really what we do. It's really very intentional. Our thought process is not. I'll back up. Within the business school, we have the career center, right? That our team works on, and the program advising. And I say that because the main campus also does incredible work with the rest of our student population for Chapman as a whole. We have the ability to work with such a smaller population and do everything from day one. I say soup to nuts, right? So we're running from the second they hit the ground at preview day or Discover Chapman Day, or during their orientation for the MBA program, to their offsite residency that we host. We are embedding within the curriculum and in the programming this culture of networking, of putting yourself out there, of taking the time to reflect on the opportunities that you've had and what you've learned, how you've grown. So it is very intentional that they know what to do and that they be prepared when the opportunity arises. You know, what's the old saying, luck is where preparation meets opportunity. So if they can be open to it and then be prepared when it does happen out of the blue, like so many things do in life, right? We really think that they're a step ahead of the game.
Okay, so students aside for just a second, how did you get here? I mean, it's a very giving place that you're in to set them up for success. But in your career, and like, how did Stacey get here?
It is a long and winding road,
Good.
Rachel. So maybe that now's a great time for a little sip of
brought to you by Booth. Yes,
my favorite. No, the short version is like a lot of people. I had the opportunity to go to university immediately after high school. I went to the University of Texas at Austin.
Okay.
I enjoyed Austin probably too much. I made
That's
a
great.
Lot of relationships.
We'll talk about that later. Mm-hmm. Keep going.
Okay. We will get back to it. So we probably did a little bit more friendship building and fun having there than focusing on the studies at the time. A number of things brought me to California. So I moved out here by myself at 22, and and with my one bag and a job at the Hard Rock Cafe in Newport Beach when it was still around.
Seriously? Oh my
God.
Wait, what's there now?
Isn't it? Is it Roy's?
It is, I think. Yeah.
Or no,
Fleming's? No.
Something.
Anyway,
so it was just one of those things that I really needed to make a change in my life and maybe leave the nest a bit from my home state of Texas, and landed here, and through a series of entry-level positions and different opportunities and friendships and what have you. I did eventually, thankfully, get back into college. I graduated from UCLA. And then began my career. I'd been encouraged to go into sales. So I did that, and I landed in recruiting. I landed in third-party recruiting, working for Apple One. So it's really where it kicked off for me, that I had this ability and desire to match people, put the right people together. And that really was the driving force, which eventually landed me at Chapman University in a very similar role, matching businesses with the right kinds of candidates and helping people within their careers. And like Rachel mentioned, she's a mentor for us with our MBA students and beyond, doing mock interviews and all sorts of other things for us. However, I was able to come into Chapman and really blend those two things that I loved, which was helping students and helping companies and helping leaders to also have the opportunity to give back, right? To speak in classrooms, to be a part of the mentor program, to really take someone under their wing and help them know what to do.
Okay, but the thing that is, like, I'm so in awe of you, by the way, because I love that you're so giving in terms of your career and to other students that are up and coming, but you're a wife, you're a mother, you're doing it all.
I am trying.
You're succeeding.
Important thing
you're doing beautifully.
Is I show up. And the number one thing I think we try to teach the students, and that we try to teach one another as friends and colleagues and what have you, is that we don't do anything alone. And a lot of people share with me how to do things, and so I in turn am always and forever willing to share, well, this is what worked for us. It's a little bit different for everyone, but I think just being completely open to sharing your experience with folks, you never know where it's going to resonate and how it's going to be meaningful for them. So as where I look back on my life and joke about the long and winding road that wasn't so typical and probably included definitely included lots of bad decisions. Those decisions.
They were opportunities for growth. That's good. I like that.
No, but I think really what that allowed me to do is that it's very easy for me to walk in somebody else's shoes. And, you know, so when I have a connection with people, it's usually a pretty deep one pretty quickly, because I probably have been there or tried that or done that or failed at that. So it's been a lot of fun.
I think all the students that I've met that have worked with you feel that, though. They feel that they're disarmed around you. Yeah. You have this gift to make them feel like it's okay that they don't know what they don't know yet. And that's perfectly normal. And sometimes they need that. Yeah. Because it's a scary thing to think about, well, what does my future hold beyond school?
Absolutely.
You know, it's the unknown for them, and having you as their guide, and, you know, everyone that Chapman is bringing in to help guide their students.
Oh, I think if we had, you know, if I had folks around me, like our students get exposure to, you know, not only our team, I work with these folks who are so dedicated to doing for others, right? And doing it in a way that really helps further their career, and it helps them make great decisions. But even more importantly, all the folks that come and literally volunteer their time. You know, you all work and have jobs and do Sunday brunch club and run companies and raise children and do all these things and take care of folks. But what's neat is when I call and I say, Rachel, or we can name any, you know, number of folks that we work with, you know, will you do this for us? On top of all of those hours that you're already spending for your responsibilities, you still say yes to us, and it is absolutely critical for our students. And I think that's where their success comes from, is that people say yes to us and they're so willing to give of themselves in that way.
So we're going to take a slight break here, but when we come back, I'm going to actually surprise most of the audience. We're going to talk about a group of students that Chapman is helping that is not your typical college-age student. And so stay tuned. More to come. Thanks.
Bedding, lighting, furniture, decor. We do it all, even the kitchen sink. Bixby&Ball offers customers a thoughtful collection of home decor and meaningful gifts for any special occasion. Bring the coastal lifestyle home with the help of our styling and design team. Let's create a timeless piece together. Visit us at one of our charming stores, conveniently located in Newport Beach, Lido Marina Village, and Solana Beach, Cedros Design District. Or shop online at bixbyandball.com.
Welcome back. So when we left off, we were talking about the fact that there are students that aren't only college students that are involved with Chapman University that Stacey helps. And my daughter, for those of you who don't know, I have an 8-year-old daughter. Her name is Elizabeth. And Elizabeth was at Chapman University last summer for a camp that was run through Girls Inc. and it was held on the Chapman campus. It was an entrepreneurial program for young girls to start their own business, to write their own resumes, to run for office, campaign for themselves, go to corporate headquarters, have lunch on a college campus, and at the end do a showcase. And Stacey and the other deans were there, and it was the most impactful opportunity that my daughter has ever had. And I was so jealous because I was telling my mother about this, and she was like, Rachel, you wish that you had gotten to do a program like that when you were little, right? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I want you to tell me, how did this come to be? I mean, the first year that I ever encountered this, my daughter was too young to participate, because you have to be a young lady between 8 and 11 to be involved. So she was too young, but I've been watching this and waiting for her big moment. And she loved it, by the way. Her company made slime. Some of the other companies made like painted rocks or baked goods, and it was things that were age appropriate. It was phenomenal. So tell me about how that all happened.
I will, but I love the slime, I have to say. As participants, we are allowed to go in and to buy from these different markets, these stores that the girls have created, and slime is my favorite, and my 4-year-old son loves it. And I love it because, well, let me just say, it's really nice to be here on a weekend without being covered in food that my 4-year-old has placed on me everywhere. So the slime is perfect because it doesn't actually stick to me. They're so giving. They're so giving. They're so gentle. Yeah. So yeah, so when I had a tenure at Chapman several years ago, I went out into the corporate world for about 5 years and returned to Chapman almost 2 years ago. And when I came back, I had been hearing that they had started to do some work with Girls Inc. that I had heard about in the community, and not really had the chance to participate in myself until I returned to Chapman. In fact, a mutual friend of mine and Rachel's, Jenny Denon,
who will be on the show eventually. Jenny, stay tuned. I'm going to ask you to be on the show.
Fantastic. Yes. Jenny and I talk so fast when we're together, we actually lose weight as it happens.
Oh, but so I do love when we all lunch together. That's really fun. Yes.
But Jenny, who's a part of that, helped to also get me more involved at Girls Inc. and on the Chapman campus. And they had reached out. We have several facilities. One location in particular on campus that's just literally it's our Center for Entrepreneurship. So not only is it well aligned philosophically, if you will, but the space itself is a great open space. It's almost meant to sort of mirror a garage, so that idea of building a company in your mom's garage. So it's a really neat space for the girls to be and engage and interact and learn.
But it is also safe. It is air conditioned.
Yes.
There are good facilities. It's not
and bless these girls. This past summer when Rachel's daughter was there, it was when we were in 100+ degree temperature every day, and I'd see them on campus eating lunch, and I'd just think, oh my God.
Oh, and their shoes are off. They're in the fountain on
absolutely.
campus. It's phenomenal. But what 8-year-old little girl gets to run around a college campus and feel like, oh, this is where I belong? My daughter is committed. She says, I'm going to Chapman when I grow up.
Well, we are, as the Harvard of the West, we are really pleased when people decide to come here. It is truly an idyllic campus, and we love when the girls are there, and their business ideas are incredible. They have the opportunity to partner with some of our local entrepreneurs, our student entrepreneurs, and what have you, and investors. I had the chance. I think they had a last-minute cancellation. I had the chance to go in and speak with the girls one afternoon as well. And we laughed. I asked them, what they wanted to do when they grew up and what some of their goals were, and I could tell who the talkers were. And so I pointed them out and I said, "Oh, ladies, don't worry. There are even jobs for you because I am also a talker." So there is work out there for those of us who maybe the skill doesn't seem so obvious, but it was really we're so happy to host. We look forward to hosting for many, many years to come. One of our pillars, of course, is here in Orange County is that we are a small business sort of beacon, and entrepreneurship it really guides us here, I think. And so at Chapman, in fact we have a new director for our Center for Entrepreneurship, Mario Leone. He's amazing. He passed work at Fiat and Ingram Micro, and he's brilliant. And so we're really excited to see him spearheading, and I know he'll appreciate the time that he gets to spend in getting to know Girls Inc. and the children who participate. So yeah, thank you for all you do too, Rachel, to make sure that continues to happen. And
of course, I love Girls Inc. I love being a mentor of the MBA students, for better or worse. Every time I get a new MBA mentee,
I always give her great mentees. I just want to go on record as saying
she does. She does give me the top of the class, and I look at them and I say, "Hey, okay, what do you want to get out of this?" And they're like, "I want real life experience." I said, "Great, good," because I have a huge to-do list. Pick something.
Yeah.
And I bring them along to business meetings. I bring them along to client meetings. I let them do projects. Kendall and I are working on something very special, and we're like, okay, we know that there was no assignment, but we're going to have a presentation.
Yeah,
we're very excited about it.
So I'm gonna shamelessly plug one of our 4+1. Chapman has a 4+1 MBA program. That means that our juniors can apply, and during their spring of their senior year, they begin their MBA coursework. They do an additional year of classes, and then they graduate with their undergraduate degree as well as their MBA. And who I'm going to shamelessly plug is Kendall Stein, Rachel's mentee. Like so many of our students, Kendall is one of the most impressive people that I've ever met.
At My Styled Life on Instagram.
Please follow her. Shameless plug. She's really wonderful, and I tell you, she's just a taste of the types of folks and students that you get to encounter at Chapman. The women that we have in our program.
She's phenomenal. Yeah. She's so ahead of the game.
Yeah, she really is.
In every way.
Yeah.
And I want to give her more, and she's like, I want more, but she's already building her business and her career and her future, and her cup runneth over.
Absolutely.
I mean, I wish I was like her when I was growing up.
As do I.
She's really great.
Yeah, it's really wonderful to watch and to see, and she's just, she's just one of them that are doing that. One of the things Rachel had mentioned, I think earlier too, we do also have a women in business organization in our business school.
Oh my God, that Nikki started,
Yes.
who was my
There's
mentee
other
last
mentee.
year. Shout out to Nikki. Okay, well
Nikki
done.
Powell, another shameless plug.
Yes.
She's really fantastic.
Oh, and Katie, who I hired last year.
Katie
Okay.
Kirk, more shameless plug.
Who's now working at Entrepreneur
magazine.
Which is phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And I just can't talk about Chapman without also talking about Noelle Witkowski, who was a few years prior to all of this, but love you, Noelle.
Yeah.
We'll have you on the show later. Noelle has started her own business up in Los Angeles, and I support her every way that I can. So, mwah, to Noelle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, keep going.
We're
Go
very
back
proud.
to Nikki. It's okay.
One of the things I was thinking about with the Women in Business Club is, the name obviously speaks for itself, much like Girls Inc. But one of the things they do that I love is they have man-ambassadors. So the Women in Business is not limited to only female membership, and though we do highlight female leadership and opportunities for women to grow in business and what have you, and
Well,
help
Jenny
them.
and I spoke on that panel last year.
Yeah, there was a fantastic panel we put together. And
Are we doing that again?
Yeah, we'll be doing more again
good.
this year, and having some really wonderful people come in. But what's great
we
is
should
that
be there
it's
as
all
like
inclusive.
alumni. Like
Absolutely,
of last year's panel.
Of the inaugural panel.
Yes, to support them.
Yeah,
it was
and
really
we
fun.
should. It was really fun. There was so much learning that happened, and like I said, I love the fact that it is for everyone, because one of the things that we miss out on when we only hire folks like ourselves, or we only get a group think going, is we miss out on the new ideas. And so I love the new ideas that they are bringing to the table, and that the folks that come and speak on these panels and that do the mentorship for us, that they bring to them. Right?
Where do you
And so
think
it's
the Women in
being open.
Business group is going?
Yeah.
I mean, I loved how it started with this just extreme force and excitement.
Yep.
But who's going to carry the torch?
Well, luckily we have folks like Kendall.
Okay,
and
all
we
right.
have, and we have other really fantastic women in our program. And don't forget, like I mentioned earlier, our ambassadors. We really do. They have put what can be so challenging with the student organizations is to your point, is who's going to carry the mantle. What's that succession plan look like? How do you keep these organizations thriving and growing over time? And I think because of the strong leadership we had, there was a group that started right before Nikki too, that really passed it off to them. Nikki ran with it. Anna Ralphs was one of our other MBAs who was a part of and handed it off to Nikki. So I know that the leadership of that group now is doing a great job in identifying who the next folks are. We recruited another strong group of women, so there are plenty of them. I have the wonderful opportunity to help advise them, which really means they just tell me what to do, and I say yes, so that's important.
She says yes a lot.
I say yes.
She does. It's good.
My
But,
boss would probably like me to say no
that's
more.
good. It's good because people feel like they're comfortable with you. They can tell you their ideas. Hey, I don't know if this is good or this is bad, but you're always open. And I always feel that it's okay. Even if my idea is crap.
Absolutely.
I can bring it
and
to you.
sometimes we don't know if it's crap right until we try it. So I think I'm just really open to always trying it. And that's what our students, that's what we love to, we tell our students all the time, come with the idea. If we can make it happen, and obviously we need to go through the cost and what the ROI is going to be for folks, and be thoughtful about our decisions, but at the same time, let's give it a go. And I love that about what we offer at Chapman and at our business school is you should be creative. And creative doesn't always mean that you're the designer or the painter or the musician. Creative means understanding what you're solving for and knowing there's a solution. And then going out there and at all costs finding it. Right? And finding the right people who can help you get there. And that's what it is. It's about being open to that, knowing there's a solution, and not giving up until you get there. So,
wow. I love that. I've been so excited to have you on the show, by the way.
I've been so excited about this.
I'm so excited.
Thank you. Not just because there's no food on me right now, but just in general.
Oh, wow.
Loving,
Okay.
I think you all know Rachel is so inspiring to us, and I'm constantly pushed and challenged by you and the work that you do, and it makes me always want to be better. So thank you for giving me the chance to do this.
It's because I say yes too.
Yeah,
I say yes all the time.
She does. It's true.
It's like you want to start a company? Yeah. I've never met a new company I knew that I didn't like.
There is just, I stole the just say yes. I mean, I have always done that, but I didn't really have the words behind it or sort of the phrasing for a long time until I heard Wing Lam, one of the founders, of course, of Wahoo's Fish Tacos. He was speaking at Chapman a number of years ago in one of our classes. And he talked about when they first started the business, and he and his brother, whomever was involved at the time, got this huge catering order that they had, by the way, practically no ability to accomplish. Fantastic. And he's like, yep, got it, no problem. And he told the students, and I thought it resonated with me because I realized that's what I do, and that's what we should all do, is get really comfortable with the uncomfortable, with ambiguity, and just say yes, and then do the hard work to figure it out and deliver for on the promise that you made.
Right? And that is fantastic, and I know that we're running out of time, but I want to pause on this for a minute because statistically it has been discussed and shown that if a man doesn't know that he can do something, he will still say yes, like Wing did. Yeah. God love him. Okay. Yeah. But a woman will pause and she will hum and haw and be like, I don't know, maybe. I want to have proof of concept first. Yeah. Okay. Let me go back and like see if I can really do this. Right. Whereas that's tough because then all of a sudden you've missed the window, the opportunity. And the gentlemen have been yes. Even though in the back of their mind they might have self-doubt or they might not know if they can do it, but they said yes. Right. So I want to encourage more women to be confident in that unknown space. Just because you haven't done that exact thing, but you've come close, right?
Absolutely.
Or you're on the right path to achieving it. It's okay to have a stretch goal. Let's call it that.
Absolutely.
You can do it, right?
Or you certainly have folks in your life who can help you figure it out. And I think that's where, sometimes it was me, I'm comfortable with risk, and so I would just jump, maybe foolishly or carelessly or what have you. So you do learn how to hone the skill a little bit more. And there have been times where I did that and was filled with the self-doubt and didn't say yes and missed the opportunity.
But I don't think I've ever been offered an opportunity, said yes, and allowed myself to fail.
No, gosh,
ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Even if I wasn't sure.
Well, and Rachel talks about this idea of having a board of directors, right? When you've got a tough decision in front of you, know who your board of directors is. So I apply that same thing to saying yes. If I've got the board of directors being that group of folks in your life who really that you trust, that trust you, that have your best interest at heart.
Do you know my four?
Yes.
My four categories?
Yes.
Yes?
Well, you said them on the panel, and so I know them. But she remembers. Oh yeah, no, I do. Okay. But I think you use that when you say yes.
Cheerleaders?
Like you said, like your mom might be your cheerleader.
People who are going to love you no matter what. Yep. Okay. You have your connectors.
Yes.
The people who are like, oh yeah, I got a guy.
That's mine.
I need a piece of jewelry. Oh, I got a guy. Oh, I need this. I got a guy. All right. Then
that's my superpower. I know somebody who can do that.
Yes, it is your superpower. And then you have your experts who are like, I need a videographer. They have that skill set. Or I need someone who buys digital media. They have that skill set, right? And a deep dive in something that their expertise is only an inch wide but a mile deep, right? Yeah. They know that space. And the fourth are people that you may or may not know. They're the mentors. They're the people that you're looking up to. They're the people that you aspire to be like.
Sure.
And maybe you know them, or maybe you hope to know them someday. And so that's how I try to categorize my board of directors.
And I think, and the context in which I first heard you say that, we were discussing when you have tough decisions and how do you make those and how can you get through those when you're not sure what to do. And certainly that is the way to use it. I also took it as what I just described is when I say yes, because I do know it can happen, right? I'm not going to say, yes, let's jump off that building. But when I say yes to a project, to an opportunity, to a new role, to something that I've not done before, that I'm not sure of how it's going to happen, I have that board of directors. I have that team that is a part of my life that I know, I'm very confident that if we put those minds together, that we'll figure it out. And so I love your idea of it, and I think that's just applicable across the board in your life. So thank you for sharing that.
I love that you remembered it.
Oh yeah,
that was great.
It was impactful.
Okay, all right, we're on our way out.
Yes.
But okay, we often pick a book. Okay, and so Stacey today has picked a book.
I did. Okay. I picked 10 poems to change your life, and I think we might say, really, poetry? No, but I just think words are so powerful. And so, and intentional, like I had mentioned about intentionality before. So I love this, and I love being okay with having those few lines that perhaps turn into your mantra, or really can make there's a beautiful one about kisses in there too. Sometimes it's just about remembering the sweetness in your life, you know, because it gets pretty hectic. And so I think taking the time to read something, not be it poetry or whatever your guilty pleasures are, Supernatural on the CW, you know, whatever those things are, taking the time out of your day. What is the first line of the book? About being hilarious.
Yes, it is. It's about being elegant, luminous, and wise. This book is soul food. Okay, so.
But it also said, it's something like the very first line is, it's a dangerous book. Because I think it can be dangerous for folks that aren't used to sort of